How come I can't use this one? Oh my. So are you set for your people? In a countdown, it's about 3, 2 minutes, 1 minute, then live. How set are you for your people, Sir David Uzo?
Yeah, I'm fine. I'm ready.
Oh my. Hopefully one of the days when I'm in Lagos, I'll come dunk you on basketball.
Sure, that would be nice.
Yes, we'll not be having a webinar that day. That
No,
day, we'll be doing that on YouTube live.
that would be nice to have you. To be an awesome one too. Yeah.
Of course, of course. Right. Looking at about 2 minutes more. So we have a couple of people coming in on the live stream already. So let's continue. commu- let's continue sharing from our ends across our
Since
community.
I can't see persons that are coming in, right?
You might not be able to see, except maybe you are using another phone on YouTube. You have to go to the YouTube link. But ideally, I can see a couple of people from the I can see a couple of people from the comment section here. I can see a couple of people commenting on the comment section here. One, two, someone said that right there. Yeah, that's good.
What's the name of your channel on YouTube?
Vorem.
Okay.
Hi guys, and welcome to another episode of blockchain and its use cases. We're live currently. We are live with the one special and most intellectual David Uzo. We want to quickly say hi, David. Welcome to the channel. We're glad to have you.
Hi. Hi. Um, Hi,
Okay,
guys.
so David is speaking to us from Lagos, Nigeria. For those of you that are watching outside the country, David is currently a blockchain smart contract auditor and a developer. And today we are looking at an interesting topic, one topic truly that has made waves, especially in blockchain and its use cases. The topic we're looking at today is real world blockchain and its applications. Real world blockchain and its applications. I want to tell you that for one, I know David to be someone that has trained a lot of Africans, someone that has actually impacted so much in the lives of people, someone that also has seen that his passion for blockchain has also been able to add value to the lives of Africans, impacting the African society. And as here in Foreign, we believe in the potential of African youth to contribute to a fast changing global economy. So, first of all, let's start this episode by being grateful. Let's show a little bit of gratitude. I myself, I'm grateful for life today. David, what is it you're grateful for today?
Yeah, I'm grateful for life and the gift of friends and family. Yeah.
Oh, great. So, guys, you can drop your comments on the comment section. You can say what you're grateful about. You can also tell us if you're excited to be on the live show, which is our first YouTube live show for this year. And also tell us what questions you might really want to ask on the comment section as we go about this. So let's allow I did a tiny bit of who David is. So let's allow David to introduce himself. So let's get to meet you, David.
Hi, guys. Um, so I'll start by saying life is hard, but life is fair and it's challenging and it's good to persons that can actually take life by its horns, right? So I actually grew up in a setting where um, I had to go against the odds, right, against the norms, and that has brought me to the point I am, right, and I'm going somewhere. So my name is David Uzochukwu. I'm a smart contract developer and an auditor. I've been in the space for let's say 2 years plus, actively coding on the blockchain ecosystem, and also I've helped a lot of projects to scale through, and helped a lot of projects to build their personal brands, and even in terms of consulting, I've also consulted in some other projects. So that's like the small part of my life. Thank you.
Let me pick one part from what you just said. You said you've been in this space, you've helped a lot of people to develop their brands, you've helped them to go into coding. There's a question that I'm positive the audience might be curious to really ask you. And that question is one question that resonates with people that are doers, people that are actually ensuring that what they learn, they are putting it into practice. So that question that struck my mind was, if I can quickly ask you, what are the challenges that you've actually faced while training the African youth, especially in blockchain development and smart contract auditing, while building their brand for them?
Yeah, so very interesting. Um, Especially being in this part of the world, which is Nigeria, right? Africa and precisely Nigeria, I tell you, it has quite a number of problems, and it's very interesting because um, there's a lot of things happening in the country itself, Nigeria, where we are currently, and where I am currently now. So there are numerous problems that come with it. So one of the issues I could talk about is lack of data or lack of power supply. All right. So you kind of find persons that want to that are eager to learn, persons that have the zeal to learn and to become who they want to be. But you have all of these issues, right? Um, which is super which is a big problem in the country, right? And it's hindering them from getting to that point where they want to be. So I really feel that's one big problem that I've seen a lot of time in persons that want to learn. And it's really a general problem, but specifically to the question you asked, in persons that actually want to learn or come into the tech ecosystem, that's also one problem, right? Also managing their own real life or real their reality to what where they want to go is also a problem. So that's quite a problem based on the question you just asked.
Okay, so you actually said lack of data and lack of power supply. And when you say lack of data and lack of power supply, what are you really, what steps did you take to see that these challenges become smoothened out, and maybe we can be able to mitigate against these challenges, especially for the new generation of people that are coming on board with this technology? Because I've personally, truly, from my experience, when I started blockchain technology, okay, let's say back in 2018, when I started, I used to prioritize my data much more than my food. Then I have not made so much money. Then I've not also built anything at this. However, I understood something that it is a 21st century where information, where connectivity is key, and I must be online. I must be able to source for information for me to be able to affect the world the way I want to affect the world. So I did prioritize my data. So how did it go for you when you're trying to look at these challenges?
So for me, so just as I started, I actually said life is hard, right? And life is fair to persons that can take life by its horns, right? So for me personally, I think it's just that point where I really just want to break out from what I've been doing, right? And I just felt okay, what would be the best part for me would be tech, right? So I could tell you, I could at some point of my life, I I was not able to even fund for data, for power. But I remember those times where I could go out to somebody's place and just to get power, I could travel some kilometers just to go and get where I could get power supply to just use my computer. I remember those times I will borrow funds from somebody to buy data, right? Also sometimes that I don't work, like I just stay on my computer for almost 24 hours. Like, yeah. So one first skill that makes me to push to scale through first is even the problem in Nigeria, right? Because when hunger has caught up with you, like you're damn hungry, You have nowhere, nothing to do else. Like there is nobody to help you. So that's first would be like a more that would first is more like a motivation already for you to want to push through, right? So I guess that is one first point that has helped me to push through. Then also where I really want to be, where I'm going, and why I'm doing this, right? Why I'm learning tech, why I'm trying to be who I want to be, right? So all of these things are the things that can compound um, the way I've been pushing into the whole tech ecosystem, and how I've helped persons to oversee these problems is also by talking to them, motivating them, telling them, okay, this is how I did mine, this is how it works for me, and I think when you push right, you can also do better. So also motivating them with my own story in how I came into tech, right? So that also have been the point how I have been trying to see. I've been trying to help other persons to come across to help. I've been trying to help other persons to mitigate these problems. Yeah.
So for you, it was a high level of zeal, being resilient, and being dogged at your pursuit for excellence and what you really wanted to do and achieve. Okay, so prior to then, what were you doing? What were you doing when you decided to now face this direction head on with this level of resilience and doggedness, and knowing that as I'm facing this direction, it will yield me profit because it might not have started in the first month, but then you understood the direction you wanted to go and you picked it up. So what are you doing before then?
Yeah, so very interesting question. Like, so I was before I came into the blockchain, right? Firstly, I was a computer technician, right? So I at that point, I remember I fixed laptop. I had points where I was fixing laptop. I had my own shop, like I was patching up with someone
Oh, so you
else.
had a
Then
bit
I
of a
moved.
tech background.
Yeah, not really like so. Tech is super wide. So there are different aspects of tech, right? So I came from, let's say, a more computer technician background. Like, okay, a little background about my education background is I'm a computer engineer by profession, even though I didn't finish at some point, right? So that's be a story for another day. So then I move into like from that level.
Apology. 1 minute. I have to give the audience this. Hi guys. So we have a Bill Gates with us because you can see he's doing extremely well. He just told us now on this live stream that he did not finish his computer engineering, and today, with this level of doggedness, this particular zeal, he's doing well. He's possibly going to become one of the next Mark Zuckerberg. So, guys, I want you to take a lot of encouragement from this. That it does not matter where you are right now or where you started from. There's always light at the end of the tunnel. Don't ever get discouraged. As you can see, David is a testimony. So, David, let's go on. Let's go on.
Okay, so I moved from that point of where I was to start learning programming. So I remember when I actually met a software engineer to also teach me how to code, right? The act of coding and programming at that point. And yeah, I took those classes, learned some basics, and at some point I had to stop because I needed to also do other things for myself, right? So um, moving forward, like fast forwarding, right? I started learning cryptocurrency trading. So I was trading at some point also. So when I was trading, wow, that was like the catchy part of, and I was trading cryptocurrencies, right? So even before started when I started trading, I had to learn it. I had to pay. I enrolled in an academy then. So after learning, I started trading, and wow, I was like, "Ooh, so this can fetch me some legit funds, right?" So I was able to make some few funds. I saw I could do 2x, 3x. So the funds were just coming. I could buy low, sell high. So it was really interesting. So I was like, wow. So why not even research? Because I'm really driven by tech. So I kind of do quite a number of research and found out, oh, blockchain. Oh, this is what, oh, there's something called blockchain. So from there, I then moved into learning blockchain, the blockchain technology. And oh, I needed to learn some programming skills for me to be a blockchain developer. Then I joined a boot camp called Web3 Bridge. Like, I guess that's also one interesting boot camp for persons to join, right? I got into some other boot camps. I also got into some hackathons in development, and yeah, the journey has just continued, has been like that from that point, and here we are today. I'm building around the blockchain technology and also helping persons to come into this space. Yeah.
There you have it, guys. You just heard his story. You've seen how he was able to transition from a school dropout to a process of resilience, learning, also seeing that he's able to complete learning processes. And then for some of you guys, sometimes, for me too, at the time, um, let's say I really wanted some level of financial stability and it drove me into this blockchain. However, as you have come to see or you've just heard from his testimony and my testimony, there's money involved in this technology. So your passion might not have fallen, your passion might be following money, but understand that the theory of becoming is something that you must understand and learn and take to heart. So, apart from following money, you must become something that would continue to impact the lives of people and also impact the future of just having money now and being able to see that what you have become will continue to make you money for the rest of your life. And learning this particular blockchain technology has seen that we scale above the baseline of just looking for money to becoming and now creating constant source of income and revenue for ourselves. So there's a question that someone asked me during this week while I was out. And the person asked me this question that I want to ask you now. Say, can blockchain education and software development grow African businesses? Can blockchain education and software development grow African businesses?
Yeah. Awesome question. Like, super great question. Um, so can blockchain education and software, right, grow the African
Development.
business development? So not even just the African business. I think it will not just even growing the African business, right? It will also grow the economy of the African continent, right? It will grow that economy super big, right? So I tell you, um, like, let's take an instance for Nigeria, right? One of our um, channels of revenue in this country is oil, right? Mineral resources, right? And one of those mineral resources is the oil, right? When being refined, the fuel and the petroleum, right? So those that's one of the mineral resources. But and one of the main use of those that particular mineral resources, which is the petroleum, is the fuel, right? Which is used to power cars and other machines, right? So, but now we kind of find out that okay, there are now machines that are electrically driven. So the demand for that mineral resources now will be kind of low. In returns or indirectly is telling that our economy also at some point since because our one of our major channels of revenue in the country is this particular mineral resources, right? So it means in return our income will be going down. So one also way I think we can also grow that revenue, right, or our revenue in this country, especially in Nigeria, is by tech. And when I mean tech, I mean technology. And I'm really happy to see a lot of people coming into the tech space, right, where They help to build products. They help to build or they help to solve problems that are actually attached to real life day-to-day activities in our country, right? So that alone generates revenue. For instance, we've heard about the Flutterwave guys. Why, right? These guys are from Nigeria, right? And I tell you, they have solved problem, and that funds now is being some of their funds now is being invested in Nigeria. So what are we trying to say? It means by by so doing that, they are actually getting funds, like they are adding to the economic of the country, right? So already, whether you like it or not, only Flutterwave, I could tell you that only that guys they have added to the economic of the country. That also goes for every individual that is in the tech space, that is also working remotely, that is kind of working from or is working for um, um, a company from overseas, right? And is being based here in Nigeria. So indirectly, that person is also adding to the economic of the country. So and adding to the economy of the country means it's helping the growth of businesses, right? Because if the economic in the country is good, it means businesses will strive well, even though we have one or two issues from government and blah blah there. But if the economic is good and there's a flow of cash, likewise businesses will go well. And also seeing it from the perspective of building of products, right? Where you use software to build products. I tell you, just for instance, I could give you an example for the blockchain. Um, if as a business person, maybe I want to make a transaction, right? Someone wants to buy something from me, and that person can make that transaction very quick, and I can get that from. Just for instance, if you want to make transaction currently now with our banking system we have in Nigeria, I tell you sometimes because of network issue, you can stay 24 hours, you will not even see the funds in the other end. But with the use of blockchain, I tell you, just for also for context, right? For the company that I work for, right, the that's transaction per second is super fast, right? You could make a transaction now, like I can send you some funds now through the use of blockchain, and you will get that fund in less than, let's say, 2 seconds. And I'm not like trying to blab words here. Like you get that funds in your own wallet in less than, let's say, 2 seconds, or at most let's even say 5 seconds. Yeah. So I can't find any bank that can do that. Right. We can't find any financial institute that can actually do that. Right. So that's like one way that solves a problem in Africa, in Nigeria in particular. Yeah. So yeah, I can't. You're muted.
Okay, so you did break it down to the most little parts, and because you were giving an example of two businesses that, if I heard you correctly, you said Flutterwave and also the company you worked for. You did highlight some of the problems and some of the solutions that they brought. Because I mean, take a company like Flutterwave, for example. Let's say one or a blockchain company like the one you work with, they're able to see that okay, much more people are getting employed. These people are also gaining funds that they are reinvesting back into the economy of the country. You guys also see that the level of youth unemployment because of blockchain now as a technology is what is reduced, and also seeing that you mitigate against the poor banking situation, especially in African countries that can see that okay, we can scale this to the next level. But I myself, I'm curious, and I'm wondering which of the Ethereum, which of the blockchain platforms are you guys doing this particular type of transaction on? That's with the company that you work for.
Yeah, very interestingly. I work for a company based in Norway, but everybody work remotely from different part of the world. And the company name is called Nami.as. You could check them out on Nami.io on the website, and you get more details about that. So Nami what it does is, or how it works. What it is a layer two solution on the Ethereum virtual machine, right? And it's more of a roll-ups layer two solution, right? So one first understanding about layer twos is it helps. Layer twos are like a second layer to the Ethereum virtual machine. There's actually a problem with the Ethereum virtual machine. That is why we have now layer tools, which have come to solve this problem and make the blockchain more interesting ecosystem to work with. So one of the problems is the normal Ethereum virtual machine we know. When you want to make transactions, they are quite slow. Probably one of the reasons is due to the architecture of that system. So now there's this which we actually have come to solve this one of this problem that the Ethereum virtual machine has, which is now the transaction throughput, right? That's how fast you can make transaction with using the blockchain. So you could check Nami out. We have a lot of use cases we're trying to solve, like a lot of use cases we're trying to solve. Like for instance, I could tell you one of the use cases Nami is solving also is by helping the European Bank, that's the Central Bank of Europe, actually to build their CBDC, right? So currently now we are actually holding on that. We're working on that already. So building the CBDC for that's the digital currency for the European Bank, right, of Norway. So yeah, so it's super interesting to you can check it out, nami.io.
Okay, guys, I'm going to be leaving this description with once we're done with this live stream. I'm leaving the description on our YouTube page so that you can also quickly go there and check it. Nami is spelled NAHMII.io, and he was speaking currently about the layer two. So, and he also said the company operates on the Ethereum layer 2 blockchain. And what does that quickly mean for those of you that are a bit of not so catching up with that particular part? So, Ethereum, ideally, every cryptocurrency was created on a layer 1 basis. That's for Bitcoin, Ethereum, BNB, they are all on the layer 1. However, in 2017, 2018, then fall down to where we are now, 2023, there was a problem with these different blockchains. Some of them, especially with the Bitcoin blockchain, sometimes when you send transactions out, it takes you like 10, 30 minutes for you to, sometimes a whole day for you to get these transactions confirmed. And it's not good. I mean, the purpose of it is for speed and agility. That's actually the definition of a digital business. So digital currencies should also possess these same type of what properties. So someone like David now is upskilling whatever has been there before now with these different layers or these different cryptocurrency and their blockchain, and saying, okay, we have Bitcoin as a layer one, let's build something on top. We have Ethereum as a layer one, let's build something on top. If there's a security problem with Ethereum, then let's add better security to the layer of Ethereum. If there's a slow transaction time record on Ethereum, let's add something better to what is already there with Ethereum. And they've been developing that. And truly, I must tell you that they are currently doing extremely well building Web3 businesses on the blockchain. So one question someone just sent to me in my inbox is truly that how does Ethereum scale blockchain? Like how does this? How did the person put it? The person said, "How does Ethereum layer two scale the blockchain processes that we already have?" And let's discuss some Web3 business apps that are available on that layer two. How does this scale the blockchain processes? And let's discuss few Web3 business apps that are on it. So over to you, David. Guys, be dropping your questions so I will take some of them. Be dropping your questions in the comment section so that we can take some of them. So over to you, David. How does this scale the blockchain processes? And what
Okay,
Web3 apps are available on this
okay.
platform?
So I don't know in what context the person is asking about scalability. how does the Ethereum, I'm really not, I'm not cutting up the question clearly from the scalability part. I don't know in what context, but just give, if from my own like understanding of the question, how does Ethereum scale? Um,
That how
uh,
does the Ethereum layer 2 blockchain? You said Ami is working on Ethereum layer 2, right? To be able to see that they bring out better transaction outputs with the blockchain and see that things are done in a swifter way. So truly,
yeah.
why layer 2? Why is it better? Why are you guys
Okay.
on the layer 2?
Okay.
And what are the
Okay. Now I
businesses
get.
available on that
Now I get.
particular level?
Okay. Awesome. I get the question now. Nice. So, very interestingly, just as I said, and you just mentioned one of it, which we are discussing, is now the time in which transactions are being mined or being finalized. Let's just put it in a basic language here. So, for instance, just like what you said, if you're sending funds or funds from using the Bitcoin network, right? It takes quite a number of time for it to deliver to the next person you're sending that. Just for a layman understanding, right? So also the same issue we have in the Ethereum um, virtual machine, which is the Ethereum based layer, right? So the layer two now comes to solve that particular problem, right? Where now I tell you, you want to make a transaction with Nami. I tell you in less than 2 seconds or five, you will get the next person, the other party will get the funds you're sending, right? So that's one problem it's solving, right? Also for let's say scalability, and when we talk about scalability, we also want to talk about how many persons can interact with that system at at a time, right? So you could believe with me, when here in Nigeria we had a problem at some point where um, there was no cash, right? Our government were trying to change our banking policy, like no cash. There was no cash. They were trying to redesign, and there was no cash to spend. So all what everybody could do at that point was to make to make their mobile transactions and the like. So, but the banking system or in the infrastructure of our banking system in Nigeria is not able to really carry that transaction per second. For instance, let's say before what the infrastructure we have in Nigeria, that's the banking infrastructures we have in Nigeria. Let's say, for example, is able to only carry um, let's say it 500 persons at a time, right? But during that time when we're having this issue, or right, even up to now, where we're having that issue of no cash and everybody had to do transaction, right? Everybody has to use their mobile app and stuff, right? So at that point now, everybody's now hitting on the system, and let's say at that point now, 1,000 persons now are hitting on that system. So that's basically what makes now you find the banking system becomes very slow, or they tell you they are working on something or want maintenance at that point, or they're trying to they're trying to scale their infrastructure or something of that nature, right? So the Ethereum ecosystem also, that's the Ethereum virtual machine, also have that kind of problem also, right? And the layer twos now also have come to solve those problems, where you can have a lot of transaction, you could accommodate a lot of transaction at a time using the layer two um, solutions, right? So that's also one problem that is solving, right? Amongst other problems, right? So I will really not go into a lot of problems. So let's talk about apps, right? And let's talk about apps and solutions that are being built on these layer twos, right? So for
Yes.
instance, we have DeFi. So when you talk about blockchain, there's a lot of kind of different aspects of apps or dApps. We call them dApps. So in your Web2 system, that's what you know, like your Facebook, your Instagram. These are Web2, right? So these are, you could call them apps, right? So, but in the Web3 system, you call them dApps, which stands for decentralized applications. So let's talk about like the DeFi, this DeFi part of these dApps, which is more like the finance parts, the finance ecosystem of these dApps, right? So we have like what we call the automated market maker, right? So which we call AMM, right? For
Yeah.
instance, you have Uniswap on our layer two network. We have what we call NIFI, right? That's on Nami, right? So what you could do, what's one of the solutions that this particular dApp bring to play is if you guys are into, if anybody understand how the trading, how you trade cryptocurrency, right? That you need to go to an exchange, well, what you know as a centralized exchange to make a trade. That's to buy and sell, right? So it means what is happening in your centralized exchange is at every point there must be somebody that wants to sell, right? In your centralized exchange, there must be somebody that wants to sell. If there's no seller, you can't buy, right? So it means at some point, if there's no seller, that market is closed. So, but in a decentralized exchange, which is like the NIFI we have on Nami, right? That's the automated market maker. Is you don't have that that barrier. You have a pool, right? Always there is something to buy and there is something to sell, right? So you have it's kind of a pool of what you want to buy. So for instance, let's take Bitcoin. So you want to go to, let's say, Binance to buy Bitcoin. There is somebody you are buying from, right? Somebody is actually selling for you at that particular time. But when you go to when if you're actually doing that on the automated maker market, what is happening is that you're buying from a pool, right? So yes, you want to say, okay, yeah, somebody is selling actually at that point. Yeah, but there's a way it works in the that's the automated maker market there, right? So that's one solution that brings is you're cutting out a middleman, right? You're cutting out a middleman, and you make and it's quite decentralized in the sense that um, if today Binance closed their app, right, you can't actually make any trade. But for decentralized applications, um, there is no middleman, but rather what you trust is the code, which is called the smart contract. You believe that the smart contract is doing what it is set to do, right? So it has cut out that middleman. So there's quite number of solutions. Like I could go on and on and on. You could talk about DAOs, right? So I could go on and on and on, and but I'll just stop on this end for this particular solutions. And yeah, I hope that's gets that. I hope that is well understood.
Personally, from my end, I did gain couple of things because you see, blockchain is the technology of trust, and with the failures we are seeing worldwide currently, when you made mention of DeFi, which is decentralized finance, we are seeing a lot of failures with traditional finance system. I mean, last week we had the Silicon Valley Bank collapse, we had the Signatures Bank, and then you can see a lot of bailouts coming in for each and every one of these type of. But where is the money coming from? From bailouts, it's being printed from the thin air. However, with smart contracts, these things might not be possible because it is now running on a system that is based on logic, high mathematics, and algorithm. And you can see that for you to be able to get to that level where you can even understand those processes, there is need. You had, from what you said when you were answering the second question about education, being able to push through on this, you had some deep level of education, especially to be able to see that you upskill yourself to a level where you can now live beyond the traditional finance system and still be able to impact value in the world. And that makes me to be curious. Um, Currently, for careers that want to really go forward from here, I want to be able to dive deep and understand what you are saying. What would be the first step you think they can take to start going into this line and seeing that okay, we start understanding and we start imputing what we're understanding. That's the knowledge bank which we are now implementing now to actually give us that value. What's the first step you think they can take to start
Yeah.
up from here?
So, like, I think I've gotten quite a number of these same kind of questions from persons, right? So the first thing is to have the passion and the zeal and why, right? To get that part clear. So why do you want to get into this? And make sure your why is very strong, right? Let your dreams be very big. That's the first thing. You need to know the why. You need to really work with why you're doing that, because will also be the reason why. That will also be the reason you will be pushing, right, when the road will be bad, because surely at some point the road will be bad. Then once that is settled and you're able to get your why, you're able to know, get that passion, that zeal, that fire or the ginger to want to learn it, right? The another nice thing to do or to go for is boot camps or academy. And very interestingly, Vorem actually are also offering an academy, right, to learn these skills, right, to learn blockchain. I think it's on their website, right? So you can also try and start joining up, be part of these academies to learn that particular skill you want to learn. For instance, smart contract development, right? So you could just pick up a course, right, and start learning. So most often, all of these things you want to learn, I tell you, when it comes to the tech ecosystem, 95% of anything you want to learn is online. I tell you, some of them are free, some you need to pay, right? So it's on your own now that you decide to choose which you want to go for. But I tell you, some are free and some are paid, right? And but they are online. Like sometimes you don't even need to go anywhere to get this knowledge, right? Sometimes you also need to go somewhere to get this knowledge. But just note that all of these things are online. So you could also take these courses or join a boot camp. So maybe after learning and after practicing, because don't just keep learning. Make sure as you're learning, you're practicing, right? So you're learning, you're practicing, then you get into um real life product, right? You could start even searching, or even before searching up for jobs, you could like start writing your own small gigs, right? Start building small products, right? You know, I can tell the solution you want to build, that it might be the biggest solution out there, right? Everything starts small, right? So start solving problems. They are real life problems. They are problems that have not been solved. That is why I am proud to be a Nigerian, right? Because there is no country that has problem like my country. And anywhere there is problem means there is money. And anywhere there is problems means there's a lot of solutions to put out there. So it means there are a lot of solutions we are yet to even think of, as long as you have a lot of problems. So you learn these things, you learn this technology, you start thinking of solutions, you start building those solutions, right? Not just having the idea, not just saying, oh, I have this idea. Oh, but start building it as small as as you can. Just start building it. And one last thing also is putting yourself out there, right? So as you're learning, even as you're building, we should all make sure we try and put ourselves out there, right? Like, okay, you're showing the public, okay, this is what I've done. This is my track record. So by that way, you don't know who is watching, right? So that's also one way to get into this space. Thank you.
Yes, you just heard it from the lips of an experienced and a tested developer, one that actually audits smart contracts on the blockchain. And we were talking about Nami a while back being the perfect platform for high volume commercial blockchain based app and public goods, because you can actually build there to be able to see that you scale the ideas that you have and be able to convert some of these ideas into public goods. Let's say you are putting a product that is based on transportation, going to solve the transportation or logistics problem, and transportation is a public good. However, for another public good, which is education, which is a very high put utility that is needed by every single government, VRM is a platform for Web3 mastery and learning of blockchain skill sets. And you can't build on these platforms without knowing things like solidity, programming, EVM, how to program on the Ethereum virtual machine, and when you are done learning that, this skill set will now prepare you for a way to attract, because now you've learned, you will now be able to say, okay, as an African now, I want to be able to put my work out there, just like he said, or put myself out there and be able to work for a company that's not here in Nigeria and be earning money that's in terms of foreign currencies down into this particular country from what you are being paid as remuneration. So understanding that the skill set, not just going to buy cryptocurrencies and just selling it, maybe no. Can you make those cryptocurrencies yourself? Can you code the smart contract of those cryptocurrencies yourself? There's a good advice that my father used to give me when I was very young. He said, don't be just the man that goes to the restaurant to buy food. Also be the man that owns the restaurant that people come to buy food from. So that at a point in time, you now start developing capacity for infrastructure. So there's need for growth for everyone, and there's need for everyone to develop capacity for infrastructure. And that's where learning comes in. That's where a platform like Verium, where you can learn these skill sets that actually ensure that you're able to rub shoulder with the likes of the Coinbase, you're able to have financial independence, have jobs, just like David is working with European companies now, and they're developing the CBDC of one of the European nations. And you can see that this is not a small feat for an African to be on this platform. It was because of high level of what education. And show me your friends and I will tell you who you are. Show me your partners and I will point the kind of value that you can deliver. And truly, education cannot be overemphasized on this particular part. But one question I want to ask David from his wealth of experience, especially with what we describe NAMI as the perfect platform for high volume commercial blockchain based apps and public goods, is that how will this like for him being a smart contract developer now and an auditor, how will smart contract development and auditing actually shape the systems and structures of businesses? How will smart contract development and auditing shape the system and structure of future businesses and optimize their businesses today?
Okay, nice. Okay, how will that structure the businesses and optimize businesses of today? Okay. Um, First, even before going into the solution, we need to understand the problems, right? Um, so let's pick a problem, right? Let's pick a so because yeah, for every solution for any job that is created, there was a problem, right?
Should we pick a
So
problem live? Should we pick a
yeah,
problem live?
yeah, so as we could experiment and see how does smart contracts and maybe auditing helps that business, right? So
Let's say
that makes more
transparency
sense.
and trust.
So that makes sense. Okay, so let's pick a business like a problem like our current. So I like to use my country. I know I'm a Nigerian. So let's pick a problem currently
Proud
now.
one.
Yeah. So currently now, we're actually in Nigeria currently now. It's the election period, right? We just finished the presidential election, and one of the problems that was in the presidential election was there was a device that was set to transmit the final result for every polling unit, right? And at that time, at some point of those at some points of transmission, it's either they said the server was down. One of the reasons they said, right, that was the server was down, and that caused a lot of problems, right? Some people were like, sorry, I don't just stay on a particular side. So it said that um some results were not transmitted. It also said that because I was not there, right, but I saw, I saw I saw I saw some of the results online. So it said that some of these results were not transmitted. Some were transmitted later, in the like not at the right time. So that's a problem, right? So one way we could solve that with blockchain or with smart contracts. I'm just talking about this particular problem now. Just follow with me, right? We just want to look into just this problem. It's by even having a smart contract system. So what will this smart contract system do, right? First, we need a developer to develop a smart contract system that will take in the photos of these results. So be it that the blockchain technology is immutable. So there's what we call immutable. Immutability means what you have stored on the blockchain system cannot be tampered. The algorithm that is used to write that at this point, right, cannot be tempered. Like you can't break that algorithm, right? You check it out, right? So at this point, there are actually rumors now that there's an algorithm now that can break a particular algorithm being used, but we'll not go there. It's actually theoretical at this point. So, but with the best of my knowledge now, the algorithm the blockchain system use cannot be broken now. So it's trusted, right? It's trusted. So you can trust that every data that is on the blockchain is valid and has not been tampered, right? So we can use a smart contract system to upload because, and again, smart contracts. So what is a smart contract? It's just a piece of code that after deployment also you can't tamper with what the piece of code is set out to do, right? So we can use that system to build a kind of a system where, let's say for instance, every agent of every party, right? Just like what we have currently now, every agent of every to sign on the final result of every pulley unit. So once that is done and the result is finalized, somebody just need to snap or take a picture of that result and upload it on the blockchain, right? We just need to upload those things on the blockchain, and probably we need have another person that take in that data from that result and manually, or we can also use AI to or anyhow we it depends on how the developer now or the smart contract developer intends to handle that. So impute those details into the blockchain. So now we have these details in the blockchain. And one interesting part that we solve is trust, transparency. What do I mean by transparency? It means anybody from anywhere can see the results, but they cannot tamper with that result. That's another interesting part. As you are uploading, everybody is going on that platform to see it. So
So no
already,
data falsification.
sorry,
So there will not be data falsification.
at all, right? So everybody could see all of those results, and the system can be built in a way where it's automated and it can also bring up those like calculate the final result, right? All of those things can be built in those systems, right? So that's like what the smart contract can do. So let's talk about the auditing part. So you built this. So as a smart contract developer, you have built this smart contract, but because this smart contract, one of the reasons for audits is that because this smart contract is immutable, once it's deployed, no changes can be made. For instance, in your Web2, in your banking or our normal banking system, today we hear that they are going for maintenance. Tomorrow we hear that they are doing another maintenance, right? What gives them that leverage to do that is that their system is not immutable. You can always upgrade, you can always change something. But for a smart contract, you can't change after you have deployed. If there is a bug in it, that will be there for life, right? So one of the reasons you need a smart contract auditor is after the developer has written that, a smart contract auditor will go through the code and try to make sure that there is no bug, that is bug free, and an attacker can really not attack it to the best of the smart contract auditor knowledge, right? And that makes it more secured, right? So that's also one of the reasons you need a smart contract auditor to do that, and that's a field on its own in the blockchain space. So that is how smart contract development and smart contract auditor can actually help businesses, right? So probably what this example we use is really not a business. So, but see it from also a business perspective, right? So that's kind of where that can help. Thank you.
I, I for one, personally, I consider this as one of the biggest business to have, one of the business use case to have even made an example with. Around the globe, one thing that is constant is that there must continue to be elections, not just in Nigeria, not just in other African countries, but the world at large. And it will shock you that there's a backdoor business going on, especially in these places, that actually instills the wrong people into power, or maybe the right people into power. However, it is that is not we're non-partisan. However, seeing that systems and structures are developed to counter these processes, every time they have elections around the world, they have court processes, they spend a lot of money, they go, coppers die, people die. You understand? Okay, so in one of my events, when I went there, this particular example you made mention of, I was telling them that let's just imagine that we have a voting system, an I vote system, and everyone is having the tokens in their blockchain wallet. And because of the fact that the blockchain is irreversible, is immutable, just like you said, and is transparent, we say voting starts by 12. We have 50 million accredited Nigerian voters, and these 50 million accredited Nigerian voters, they are accredited with 50 million tokens. And each and every one can have transaction hash that they can see on the blockchain explorer that will not be padded by anybody. And we say,
Yeah.
okay, everyone start voting, they all send their token for the different parties. Let's say they are using something like a DAO, they will now decide to do some little bit of decentralized autonomous parties or organization on top of those smart contracts that you are going to be auditing now after they are done with those voting. And they say, okay, that this DAO is APC, this DAO is PDP, this DAO is Labour Party, this DAO is, just name whatever party it is in the world. And then we say we are voting with this unique token for all these DAOs. And then we start contributing our voting rights on the blockchain, on chain, no data falsification. And you can see that with this, we'll be able to reduce court spendings, reduce the
Seriously.
lives of people,
Like if
and
you check,
a lot
I
of
think
things.
yeah, I was also trying to check. I check. I think I was seeing the news and I was marveled with the amount how much was spent for this current election. Especially the election, like it was in billions. Like I was like, this is crazy. This current election that is happening, the money that they spent to execute it is crazy, right? So you want to like, wow, where how did they come about the money? Even talk about the website, the server, how much they spend for just server and its likes, right? So it's really really, I think it's really a problem which blockchain also can solve.
Yes, and you see that this other monies, that particular money could have gone for something else, a good infrastructure development, like bettering the health system, giving us better road, ensuring that the power is better, which you just said before, ensuring that we have good data, just ensuring that the public have access to good internet facilities, and these things will actually help speed up the economy instead of wasting all that money on processes that have been solved already by technologies of the future like blockchain. However, in conclusion, I want to quickly ask you this question. If you were to start all over again as a developer, a blockchain smart contract developer and an auditor, how would you go about it?
Very interesting. Okay,
So
if I
imagine
just
yourself now. This is your 19 years old self or your 20 years old self coming back and say, I want to start again. How would I go about it?
So yeah, so very strongly, like I had a lot of things I will do better. First, I think I've seen that um, being a blockchain developer, first you need to understand maths. Not even just a blockchain developer, being a developer or being a programmer, you need to understand mathematics. Not just like you need to understand that. So first, I will not
Some
miss
people just
classes.
left the room.
I will not leave classes when I was in secondary school. I will not leave. I will not skip maths classes. Right. First, I will make sure I attend all the maths classes and even the one that I'm not invited to. Right. So that part I will try and do that very well. Secondly, I will really want to. I will try to expand. When maybe I'll try to expand myself in tech as I'm like, let's say, start reading books around technologies, right? Even in my secondary school time, right? So that is what I'll be doing at that point during secondary school, right? So maybe moving into the future in like middle part of my life will be um, me learning Web two, like the Web two technologies, right? Making sure that I'm strong in those basic Web two technology like HTML, CSS, JavaScript, Python, understanding different concepts of building softwares, right? Trying to get more experience in building infrastructures, right? So that will be one point, one part I will really want to also do well. So once I'm able to do that, um, I think I will make very well. I mean very, very well. If it means spending like 5 years, 7 years in doing that only, I'll make sure I do that very well before even coming into starting to learn the blockchain technology. So when I come into like start learning blockchain technology, also start learning the basics, right? The basics are also super important. Start learning the basics, stay there very well, make sure I stay on the basics, like let's say, even if possible, a year, and keep practicing and keep building, like consistently building and spending more time, right, in practicing and building. So I think in general, one thing I would say I want to do very well is managing my time super well, that I can be efficient and practicing a lot more. Thank you.
Okay, so time management, seeing that you get better at the computational processes that enables a smooth workflow and outflow for your calculations with blockchain, and then ensuring that you quickly start putting the work that you have been doing out there to for high level of mastery and perfection. It has been an amazing evening with you, Sir David Uzo. And as excellent people, would not like to keep you beyond the time scheduled for this particular program, which is the 1 hour session with us, and also our audience. Guys, you guys can quickly go online, follow David Uzo on LinkedIn. He's doing very well. I've told you before, for the website is nahmii.io. You can go build blockchain solutions there. Once you are good with the skill set of, so you can go online on vrem.co, pick some courses, take these solidity courses, EVM courses, understand them. We can give you access to David from our cohort sessions that we have, because David can come in as a cohort teacher, see how he can build you up while you are learning that. Let's say you're having problems, you're stumbling on the way. David has trained students all over the globe. He has also done this with the African context very well. And he has also told you some of the challenges that these students faced. So once you are able to do this, start building processes, building real life application products on blockchain, and you will see that you will start gaining and amassing a lot of user base. And truly, just like they say, the sky is your starting point. The sky is your starting point for the possibilities that blockchain has come to solve. And we can only see a better future with blockchain. So I'm looking
Sure.
forward to seeing each and every one of you at the other side of success. On that note, thank you very much, David. We're grateful for having you tonight. We can't express our gratitude enough. Very positive. As much as I enjoyed you so well, our audience did enjoy you much more. Looking forward to much more collaborations and much more impact in the world of blockchain technologies. Thank
Thank
you
you.
very much, David. And it's a wrap, guys.
Yeah, thank you.